Nigeria may split. I mean, these are...
My people, no be smart, in don't they confirm say Nigeria go split from the media. The media houses now don't they carry on right now. So I go want make una pay attention. What this video from the starting to the ending. A lot is about to happen. Waiting we don't really know now. Now how many way they go split and whether now in 2 places or in 3 or in 4 places, because the medias don't they carry on now. Assistance right now. Tinubu now no know what thing to do now because in they confused on his second term where we say he won't enter office right now because the US don't put body now, they don't submit memo. US don't even the sanction people will be say they collect bribe. So many things will be say they don't do now. They don't clear out all the whole US congressmen will be say we follow collect bribe for back. And again, Donald Trump don't mandate so many things, don't take action. In fact, I'm not going to just talk much. I go just allow you watch this video from the start to the ending. A lot is about to happen for our country, Nigeria. Waiting we never experienced before won't happen right now. So pay attention. Watch this video from the start to the ending. Listen. In fact, this video have get 2 different segments. Even the one will be saying in fact, man, not just talk much. Pay attention. What this video have 2-3 segments. Watch it to the end so that you go understand every single thing we want happen for our country, Nigeria. A lot is about to happen. And now, drop your own thoughts. Do you want made a country, made they divide them into 2, or made they divide them into 3, or made they divide them into 4? Drop your own thoughts. Me, I believe dividing it into 4 will be the best, which is Biafra, Oduduwa, Niger Delta, and Hausa people. So, and in fact, only four where I want me the divider. So drop your own thoughts at the comment section and write freedom for Mazen and the cow and freedom for the people of Biafra. The liberation where would they want, or the country where would they expect now waiting won't happen. And before the end of this year, I can say state it categorically, say Biafra don't come this year, because Donald Trump don't be ready to even divide the country because of the Christian genocide. Don't do too much. Pay attention and share this video.
Nigeria may split. I mean, these are dangerous statements to make about a country that's not yours.
These are dangerous statements. It's not today the Americans make statements like that. We don't support it. I don't support the splitting of this country. I'm a big believer in one Nigeria. Yeah. But the question is, with one Nigeria, what's the proposition? Let's have the conversation. A proposition where people are being killed based on their tribe. A proposition where there's genocide happening. A lot of Christians are being killed. I know people like to frame the argument and say, oh, they are bandit activities, they are this and all of that. But in areas of Benue, it's actually a genocide. It's because they are killed specifically because they're Christians. So there's an intent issue. Although the other part will also say, oh, they were reprisals, they also killed us in return and all of that. But there's a genocide going on, which we cannot deny. So the question is, the proposition for one Nigeria has to be built on justice, a clear sense of equity, and a clear sense of fairness. But when you don't have that, people will feel disgruntled. And that's why people will say all sorts of things and talk about splitting and everything. Because heck yeah, it is a miracle that the country is still surviving. Because of the level of unfairness. So, for instance, look at the argument being made by a general. I think the general should have played down this argument of rehabilitation because it doesn't work. Despite how many peace deals we've had with the bandits, have they not gone back to hurt those people in the society? If you're making the argument and you're calling the Bible, what would you tell the father of those boys in Borno that died, 4 of them in that bomb attack, when they were just going to break their fast? What would you tell them? So you have to be able to also balance this argument out by saying, what about the plight of the people? If somebody kills, the law has a procedure for what should be done to that person. You do not have a right to tell us, oh, they are repentant, they killed. So what about the people they killed? They don't deserve justice? With rehabilitation programs, we have to be careful because it has not collectively worked in the end. They should bring out this 20,000 people that they say they have rehabilitated and see how many of the percentage have gone back to the crimes. Is it all of them that are doing the vocational job they fought for them for? We cannot do this to ourselves.
Where are the jobs?
So that's why we call on the state to be able to ensure that he has the right and the monopoly of violence against these people in the first place, beats them to a certain extent, and those that are found worthy, justice must be done. You can't say people that kill people, criminals that kill people, that slaughter people, and then the next thing you say, oh, the Bible says.
Well, these are the issues.
Okay, first, let's start with the Chief of Defense Staff, General Oluyede. I think he may need to get a Bible teacher. He doesn't seem to understand his Bible. He's quoting the prodigal son, Luke chapter 15, verses 11 to 32. Now, the prodigal son collected his inheritance. He squandered it. And he came back to his father to ask for forgiveness. And then the evening ended with celebration. The prodigal son being referred to is not a criminal. He's just a child who wasted his own inheritance. In this instance, we're talking about criminals. And General Oluyede, who has spent his entire life as a soldier, fighting criminals, trying to subvert the sovereignty of Nigeria, ought to know that. If he doesn't know his Bible, he should go and take it and read it again. Sections that he doesn't understand, if he's a Christian and he has a pastor, let him seek further education. The second part of it, however, is that yesterday we discussed this same subject. We say that Nigeria does not even have the capacity to rehabilitate anybody. I think someone has also famously said in this country that there's no such thing as a repentant terrorist or bandit. These are people who kill. These are people who rob people of their future. These are people who cause sorrow for families. These are people who subvert the entire country. And then you say, if they say they are repentant, they should be taken back. I think the general was perhaps more interested in the budget. Because he said, if you are asking us to do Operation Safe Corridor, we are ready, but the money is not there in the budget for 2026. And the one lawmaker who was there, he said, we will come back to you with proposal. No, this should not be about money. This should be about the security agencies discharging their responsibilities under the Constitution. The last time they tried Operation Safe Corridor, they even arranged wives for terrorists in one state, thinking that if they are domesticated, but they went back. Some of them were even absorbed into the military, we were told. What did Nigeria achieve as a result of that?
Our silence as a group on the renewed agitation for the sovereign state of Biafra, majorly by Igbo traders and youths, particularly in Igbo land, was very deliberate. We decided not to be hasty so that our pronouncement as a group will be backed with facts and figures that will be difficult for anyone to dispute. Historical facts. The late Chief Odumegwu Ojukwu Ikemba Nnewi once described the Biafran struggle as no longer a physical thing, but a struggle of the mind, a mind thing. You will also recall that while Ojukwu was alive, one Ralph Owazurike started agitating for a sovereign state of Biafra with his group known as Masop. The Ikemba never paid any attention to them, but admonished that it was no longer by physical combat, but with a mindset that yearns for justice and equity. Government's response to Masop's agitation was oftentimes severe, and a case in point was the massive killing of some of the agitators who were later dumped in a river in Anambra State some time ago. This took place under the last dispensation, and up to today, the date and how they occurred remains a mystery. During the build-up to the election of 2015, Mazob, that was clamoring for a sovereign state of Biafra, became interested in Nigerian politics and even issued threats that unless Professor Atahiru Jega, the then INEC chairman, is removed, they will burn down Nigeria. That was an unpardonable blunder, as they portrayed themselves as an unserious group of men and women who were approbating and reprobating at the same time. Designing minds got the message clearly that this fight by these men and women was not about the Igbo cause, but about selfish and personal interest. In short, it is about bread and butter. What is now unfolding is the resurgence and renewed agitation by a new group known as the indigenous people of Biafra, led by a young man living in faraway London. His name is Nnamdi Kanu. His modus operandi is through a radio medium known as Radio Biafra, where it is alleged that he spews out hate speeches and engages in name-calling and abuses of all personalities, including Nigerian state. He uses social media a lot to propagate his agenda. And to be sincere, he seems to have mobilized a large followership who consists of the youths, traders, and even some educated elites. What is peculiar about this audience is that the majority of them neither saw nor experienced the 1967-70 war in Nigeria. At best, they read the story as history or social studies. The intrigues, the mistakes, the avoidance, the connivance, the betrayals, the wisdom, the foolishness of that war cannot be as real to them as to those who were witnesses to it. So what we are seeing presently is a group of young men and women who are trained to sing "Let My People Go" song all over the southeast region, demanding that people should pull out of the Nigerian state as their economic survival, safety, equity, justice cannot be guaranteed under the present arrangement in the Nigerian state. This is as hollow as it is defeatist and is born out of the most blood-curdling political scam ever visited on the Igbo. We have taken time to engage in this lengthy historical voyage to lay a solid foundation for our comments and solutions below, which we believe will nip this brewing crisis in the bud once and for all. Let it be noted, the Nigerian state as it is today has the imprint of the Igbos, be it in the foundational struggle for independence and nationalism. No one can deny the individual contributions of the great Zik of Africa and a rich swath of Igbos. While there are good grounds to dismiss the demonstrations as part of the legendary propensity of the Nigerian people for drama, it has become important to make a clear statement on this development because of the obvious implications for Ndi Igbo. The reluctance of respected Igbo men and women across the nation and beyond to speak on the agitation because they consider it emphatic to spend precious time on it has enabled a handful of charlatans and politicians working in cahoots with the demonstrators to seek to create the impression that a majority of Igbo people are in solidarity with the agitators. Let us state the obvious. Neither Nnamdi Kanu nor his followers have the mandate of the Igbo people. They were never elected. To the best of our knowledge, they did not consult Ndi Igbo on the agitation for Biafra, which led to Mr. Kanu's arrest and detention on suspicion of threat of terrorism, kidnapping, ethnic and religious incitement, and waging of war against the people and government of Nigeria. If anything, the youngsters calling for Biafra appear to be tools in the hands of failed politicians. One of the most prominent of the politicians did tell journalists on January 15, 2015, that Nigeria would break up if Dr. Goodluck Jonathan was not re-elected as Nigeria's president, adding for effect that the legal instrument which brought the country into existence had expired. It is not sheer coincidence that none of the prominent supporters of the indigenous people of Biafra was in Biafra during the 30-month civil war, whose consequences are still there for everyone to see. They have no first-hand experience of what it means to go through war. Therefore, it is understandable that they have developed a penchant for beating the war drum at the drop of a hat, which they erroneously assume will get the new federal administration to make concessions to them. While gleefully beating the war drum, they have carefully ensured that none of their relatives or family members participate in the demonstrations. The demonstrations have so far been largely peaceful, but no one can guarantee how long they could remain so, because youngsters do not always act peacefully when they are in large groups, as evident when university students go on protests. We deplore the spirited attempt by some people to distort Nigerians' history as it affects eminent Igbo elements. We deplore in particular the attempt to cast Chief Emeka Ojukwu in the image of a poster child of Nigerians' disunity. True, Chief Ojukwu did lead the Biafran war, but he was never a pathological rebel. In fact, Ojukwu was a pan-Nigerian, true, and did state many times that the Biafran rebellion was forced upon him by historical circumstances. Most history books consider him a reluctant rebel. Ojukwu was a public servant in eastern Nigeria in the late 1950s. But as Nigeria's independence began to approach, he was worried about the increasing regionalization of the nation's affairs. Consequently, he joined the Nigerian Army, which he considered the most national of all existing institutions then. With the Civil War over, Ojukwu returned to his pan-Nigerian activities. When he decided to participate in party politics for the first time in 1982, shortly after returning from a 13-year exile in Cote d'Ivoire, he deliberately chose the ruling National Party of Nigeria, NPN, which he believed was the most national of all political parties in the Second Republic. He even sought to serve his people at the national level through membership of the Nigerian Senate. He made it crystal clear that his sole motivation was to complete the process of reintegrating the Igbo into the mainstream of Nigerian politics. After supporting such Nigerians as Dr. Olusola Saraki and Alhaji Bashir Tofa, as well as Chief Olufalaye, to become Nigeria's president at different times, Chief Ojukwu presented himself for election as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2003 on the platform of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA. Meanwhile, Chief Ojukwu spent years campaigning for what he called a handshake across the Niger. By this expression, he meant that all ethnic groups, beginning with his Igbo people, must find ways to live together in greater peace and harmony as one people, so that the black people could take pride of place in global affairs. Against this background, it is tragic for people like Nnamdi Kanu and his followers to describe Ojukwu as their inspirational figure, as their sponsors have brainwashed them to believe. The situations in South Sudan and Pakistan came to mind here. While it is possible for any Yoruba man or woman from any state in the Southwest to serve in any capacity in Lagos, it is extremely difficult, if not impossible, for an Igbo from Igbo state to work in another Igbo state. The case in point is what happened in Abia State when former Governor T.A. Orji sacked all civil servants from Imo, Anambra, Enugu, and Ebonyi. The same happened in Enugu State when a former governor sacked all the civil servants from Anambra State when Enugu was carved out of the old Anambra State. 2. That we reject the effort by these people to stereotype Ndi Igbo as perpetual victims of the Nigerian state and chronic campaigners who can never be satisfied. We don't understand why some Igbo should feel comfortable anchoring their just demands from the Nigerian system on self-pity through relentless cries of marginalization and neglect. Igbo are known for enterprise and industry and not for any syndicated appeal to self-pity, as the proponents of the present Biafra resurgence are making. When and where did marginalization of Igbo start? And if I may ask, when do we think it will end? 3. that we are yet to reconcile the present embarrassing pedestrian argument surrounding this new craze for Biafra with the well-acknowledged depth and staying power of Ndi Igbo on national issues. While Ndi Igbo are noted for deep introspection and reticence on issues, we dare say that the present agitations or agitators, perhaps in a haste to achieve their deadly political ends, are building on shifty hollow reasonings that repels rather than attract support. We see the results to slander, lies, abuse, blackmail, use of indecorous language, effusive use of inciting hate language to spark reactions and violence from other sections of Nigeria, and nothing more. Igbo are not noted for this. We state that Igbo are hardworking and friendly people, and not people ruled by extreme hate and negative passion, as the progenitors and sponsors of the present needless Biafran agitation present us to be. 4. It is beyond doubt that a bulk of Igbo investment are domiciled outside the so-called Biafra. It is certain that more Igbo live outside the so-called Biafra, and it is beyond doubt that these senseless agitations and their sponsors are exposing both the massive Igbo properties, wealth, and majority of Igbo people to danger by the present politically induced needless agitation. The Igbo conscience believes that Nigeria provides a big space for Igbos to thrive. When you have an Atlantic Ocean to swim in, you do not need a pond in Okigwe to do the same. 5. TIC notes with dismay that the present ruthless and uncoordinated agitation has renewed anti-Igbo sentiment among our brothers and sisters in the South and promises to rekindle an early rivalry that will negatively affect Igbo interests in the days to come. We note the angry rebuff and exhumation of already buried animosities against Ndi Igbo in the just effort of our brothers and neighbors to disown this charlatanism of Biafra. We state that this is unfortunate and dangerous to Ndi Igbo and their interests, as we reassure our neighbors and brothers that Ndi Igbo have no interest in acquiring their land or space. We want to assure our neighbors and friends that Ndi Igbo have no plan to forcefully conscript them into a fancy utopia, as the present agitators seek to do.
These are things that agitate my mind. I started thinking about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria. Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. It is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. Since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country, but the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country.
To hell with all of you where they say one Nigeria, one Nigeria. Don't you know the contract that British signed for one Nigeria have expired since 2014? relay more don carry am come out. The US congressman don carry am come out. The contract wey British sign for one Nigeria have expired since 2014. Make Nigerian government or British prove them wrong by providing the valid document. And una still wan continue on top of expiring documents. You know, since everything wey dey the country have expired. That is why everything is falling apart, because e don overdue. Renew your contract if you wan continue. Renew your contract, but the people wey wan sign the contract with wan waka comot. Biafra must go.
The best thing for you to do at this very moment is actually to share the video, because if you should look at what Goodluck actually said in this very video, Goodluck did not put water in his mouth. The man did not put water in his mouth. He analyzed everything. That shows that Nigeria is not actually a nation before. It's just a geographical expression according to what Goodluck actually said. And Goodluck did not actually say that in Nigeria. He said it in international community where they're actually deliberating on the breaking up of Nigeria and all of that. Maybe the Igbo should go, the Yoruba should go, and all of that. And including what is actually going on in the north. Now, look at what Goodluck said very well. Think about it. It is not that I'm getting to know that the marginalization of Nigeria expires. I never know that the marginalization of any country actually expires. I'm hearing it for the first time that the marginalization of Nigeria allegedly expires 2014. According to what that lady actually said in that very video. And even what Goodluck said is actually buttressing the same point as well. Now, if you know that you have somewhere going, because I want to play you the main video now, if you know that you have somewhere going, just go and come back and watch this video. And if you know that you have the full space, because it's a very short video, you have the full space to actually listen to everything, because what you're about to listen to is very, very pivotal, it's essential, it's very important. You will not want to afford to miss a second of this video, because everything that was said about how Biafra will actually be liberated and all of that is actually in the UN right now. The matter and the deliberation is actually the UN. So what I need you to do is to share the video and let a lot of people get to see what's actually going on. Come and see what's going on. A lot of people were actually thinking that, oh, since they've arrested and they put him in jail, all these things will actually stop. But the thing is not even stopping. Come and see what's going on. It's not even Nankan that's actually pushing for it. The Biafrans are not even pushing for it. It is the marginalization that the Britain actually did. And according to what they actually said in this very video, they said the Britain actually merged the regions together in Nigeria for their own selfish interest.
My people, now don't hear them now. What do you think about what they go on for our country, Nigeria? What is the best thing? What is the way forward? I think division is the best thing that can solve all the solution to all this. In fact, all these crises we they face right now, division will be the best thing. So if they divide this country, you go see say everybody go just focus on in country, and you go see say all this by way they by each other. They don't go by people up and down. So that's the only way forward. Now only waiting at the thing. So division now be the best thing, or division no be the best thing, or may they pray to God, may touch the heart of the leaders, or may they give us Igbo president. Which we on really think, because waiting they go on now marginalization where Mazina the Carlo talk about. Say in fact Mazina the Carlo give them 3 options as of before, but they no even do anyone. So how you go think say we go dey comfortable to stay for the country where we say they don't even care about us? You know, it's a shameful thing. So drop your own thought at the comment section, and I believe say God will hear the cry of the Biafra. Say the time for us don't come. Share this video to everyone on every social media platform. Don't forget to click the subscribe button for more updates. Share this video, now the only one I fit take encourage support us.